Yes guys, so I thought I'd jump on quick and discuss another one of my most recent clients and how the first couple weeks have been going working with this chap. His name's Aaron and he's a dream to work with, really. Very motivated guy. Again, he already owns property which he rents out by the room to his colleagues. So contractors, the perfect type of tenants. He already rents his own property out to these people, and the reason why he wants to get started in rent to rent is because he knows it works. He has the demand already in terms of the ideal type of tenant. His colleagues are constantly asking him if he can find accommodation or if he has any empty rooms in his existing property. So it only makes sense to scale his portfolio and start taking on some rent to rents, because obviously it costs a lot more to buy a property than it does to rent some properties and give them a light refurb and then re-rent them out. So it's easier for Aaron to scale by taking on rent to rents than it is to buy houses, because obviously it costs more money and it's going to take a lot longer, and his colleagues need accommodation now, right? So rent to rent can be quick if you know what you're doing. And so far Aaron's flying, you know, he's making such great progress for someone who's never ran their own business before, never done rent to rent before. But the advantage that he does have is that he's a landlord himself, so we haven't had to work on building his confidence up and helping him understand the model. He understands the model well. He knows that it works. All we're working on now at the moment is property acquisition, finding landlords, finding agents, going on viewings and making offers. That's what we're doing at the moment, right? So we've identified a couple key areas, and since we've been speaking over the last couple weeks, Aaron's gone on a couple viewings and he's already built a good relationship with a few estate agents. He has a contact in the council that he's close with because she helped him make his own house compliant for renting to 4 contractors. So he's very close with the HMO department and the regulations compliance side at his local council, which is obviously an advantage because that's helping him when he's speaking to agents, because when he mentions his contact in the council, they know who she is, and that obviously shows that he knows what he's talking about, which is good. So he's been on a few viewings. He's made his first couple offers. We're currently going through the offer process with one landlord in particular who has 2 properties, and Aaron already has 6 of his colleagues ready to rent the rooms across 2 properties, which you're allowed to do in this particular area. You can have up to 4 people in a house before you need an HMO license. There are some other regulations that you have to comply with, but you don't have to get an HMO license. You just have to make the houses safe, which Aaron knows exactly how to do because he's done that with his own. So if he gets these 2 houses from this landlord, then he's going to rent them to 6 of his colleagues that are going to pay him around £160 per week per room, and after all of his bills and rent to the landlord, he should be making around £1,000 to £1,200 per month from both of them, so around £600 each per house, which is great. He's going to have to invest maybe 3 to 4 grand into each one, so after the 5-6 month mark he would have made all of his initial capital invested back, and it should all be profit from there. So it won't surprise me if Aaron is our next success story. It's going to be out of him or Maxine and Clarissa, I think, at the moment, just because how advanced they are how well they understand rent to rent, how well they can communicate as well. And yeah, just the fact that they're hitting the ground running. They already understand property to a good level, and they know that it's just a case of finding the right properties and landlords now. So what I've learned from speaking with Aaron over the last couple of weeks is different areas have different rules, so you should always do your research and tap into your local area and see what the rules are regarding HMO. Can you have 4 people sharing without needing a license? What are the exact rules? Because once you know that, you can work backwards from there. And it's always good to have a couple options of how to make money from a property. And if you're working in an area that only allows you to have 2 or more tenants before you need an HMO license, then sometimes that can restrict you from renting the property out by the room to a group on a like medium term basis, and you're kind of forced to rent as an Airbnb or like a service accommodation on short-term stay platforms, which can be very lucrative and profitable, but it kind of forces you to only have one way of making money. And service accommodation can be seasonal, it can be quite volatile in terms of profit per month. It's not always predictable, it's not always consistent, it can be quite seasonal. So it's good to have more than one way to make money. So in this particular area that Aaron's working in, he should be able to rent 3-bed houses with an extra reception room, or 4-bed houses to 4 individuals. He may have to do some compliance in terms of smoke alarms, fire alarms, maybe some fire doors, but generally speaking, he should be able to rent those houses by the room and make money. But also he could rent them as service accommodation as well. So Aaron's doing really well. It's been a good couple of weeks mentoring him. He's just sent out some marketing letters to landlords, and he's been messaging me saying his phone's blowing up with messages from landlords. So that just goes to show that our marketing materials really do work, and landlords are in need of the service that Aaron will provide. All we've done with Aaron over the last couple of weeks is set his business up and get him doing the same outreach that we do, marketing his business. He's got a good landing page set up now, and he's identifying properties that will work well for rent to rent. And it's just a case now of doing the reps, doing the numbers. He's got the system set up, so all he needs to do now is run as much throughput through that funnel, through that system as possible, and it won't be long before he gets his first deal. So if you're watching this video and you want me to help you start or scale your rent to rent business, then I'll put a link in the video description below. Click the link, book a call. On that call we'll have a chat, see if we're a good fit to work together. If not, keep watching the content, keep learning, and I wish you all the success. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.